All right, everybody. Welcome to 2016, and welcome back to the team call. We took a little break from doing team calls while we sorted out a few things in our personal lives, and it's just kind of time to kick it off again. It seemed like New Year was a good time to reinvigorate our team calls. There's something about the new year, as you've probably noticed with yourself and with your friends and your family and all of your business contacts. The new year tends to just kind of spark a new life. And that is certainly true for me. I've been working today. I just laid out got started with my whiteboard is like falling apart. Look at that. I just bought this thing. That's great. We'll figure that out later. But this is going to be my elite board if it holds together. And just kind of laying out, this is what I do the years that I want to make elite. I start off knowing, what are my qualifications? Who are my coaches? I'll have a section for prospects, and it's what I'm going to use to track my progress for elite for this year. So that's kind of like the first thing I guess that I would tell you is, sorry, moving my light around. It's been a while since I've done one of these. That's the first thing I would really tell you is, if you have big goals for the year, write them down. Understand if you're going to try and qualify for something like a leader premier or leadership, what are the qualifications? Write them down. Make sure you understand them. Then track your progress. It's really the best advice I can give you as far as achieving your goals. So we're going to talk about the leadership ladder tonight, and I'm going to just fix this light really quickly because it's really bothering me. And that's probably a little bit better. I hope it's not so bright. So before we get into the leadership ladder, which is really what we're going to focus on tonight, I want to remind you about this. So registration for the 2017 Success Club trip, if you are a 5-star or elite coach, is open now. I think tomorrow it's Premier, maybe 2-star as well. I'm not sure, but it's I know Premier opens tomorrow. Everybody else is January 19th. Register for this, please. Register for this. I haven't registered yet because I'm trying to figure out what my kids' spring break is going to be, and the school doesn't have their calendar out yet conveniently. So I will probably be registering for the first wave, but don't hold me to that. I'm sorry, Tammy's just chiming in with something important, which was the announcement. Where'd you go? Yeah, okay, it's Premier and All-Star Legends tomorrow. Thank you, Tammy. Appreciate that. So if that's you, you can register tomorrow. If it's not, you want to be first thing on the 19th, get registered. It will sell out. There's two waves that they're doing. So there's kind of 2 different trips that are going to be back to back. And it's going to sell out. It always sells out. And so I would just plan on registering as soon as possible. If you can't get registered, get on the wait list. The wait list, I think, is again going to be based on Success Club points. And you want to make sure you're, highest priority on the wait list and have the most Success Club points. But why even waste? Save yourself the trouble and just get registered as early as you possibly can. So again, if you're an All-Star Legend or Premier, that is tomorrow for you. And if you're a 5-star or Elite, that's right now. So, okay. I want to talk a little bit about the leadership ladder tonight. And I want to talk about how we're going to start implementing the leadership ladder. I kind of teed you guys up for this in December as we started to kind of talk about the leadership ladder, and I gave you a little bit of an idea of some of the things that we were maybe going to do with it. Here's what's going on. There is a bit of a cultural shift happening in Beachbody, and Beachbody is going to be using the leadership ladder more and more and more, okay? So we know that, and we can either adopt the leadership ladder now, or we can wait and adopt it later. I prefer to be on the front end of things like this. I also happen to think that these 3 elements of the leadership ladder, and there are 5, I'm only going to cover the first 3 tonight because the upper levels of organization leader and executive leader aren't generally pertinent to this call. If you're approaching organization leader, I've probably already talked to you. Those are more like one-on-one things that we need to do to help you build your organization. So I want to just get focused on these first 3 levels and talk to you about how we're going to use these first 3 levels as part of a new recognition program and reward program that we're going to be implementing. So first, let's talk a little bit about the levels so that you understand them at their most basic. Attached to, in the Fit Club Network Coaches group, I attached this little graphic, which I pulled out of the FAQ and just copied it, the little screenshot, copied it. You should have that. If you don't have this now, go to that Fit Club Network Coaches group, just grab this, print it up, or have it in front of you, and I think it'll help you to understand what I'm talking about better. And I'm gonna basically recreate it here with a few comments. That'll probably generate some questions. After I go through the different ranks so that we understand them, then I'll open it up for Q&A, and then I'm gonna talk about what we're gonna do for rewards and recognition. So let's kind of start with Business Starter, which is our most basic first rung on the leadership ladder. The first thing is Success Club. You need to make Success Club 5 at minimum in order to be a business starter. You also need to be a coach. So a business starter essentially is a coach that's making Success Club. All right. So this is really another way of saying you made Success Club this month. All right. So when you start to see the recognition, understand what it means. If you're a business starter, it means you're making Success Club. You're a coach that's making Success Club. You also have 100 bonus points per month. Okay. So what's a bonus point? A bonus point, if you're familiar with PV, which is personal volume, it's basically what bonus points are. Bonus points were introduced when the Canadians joined us. Hi, I can see a bunch of my Canadian friends there. When the Canadians came in, we went to bonus points. It's basically PV. So what this means, if you have 100 points of personal volume or 100 bonus points, you're making Success Club 5, you'll have well in excess of 100 bonus points because you've made some sales. Those sales are included in your bonus points. So is your own personal Shakeology, which you're also on Shakeology Home Direct if you're making Success Club 5. So basically a business starter in its most simplest sense is just a coach who's making Success Club, which is great. So what that allows us to do is it allows us to have another way to help people understand you're doing a good job. It's another little recognition tool. So what I'm going to suggest that you leaders do that have people who are making Success Club is you start acknowledging people for business starter. And again, I'll get a little bit more into rewards and recognition later and what we're going to be doing. But that's what a business starter is. It's really super simple. It's a coach making Success Club. That coach might be an emerald coach. Like it's not necessarily a coach. Could even be a diamond coach in certain circumstances, okay? Because I'll talk about the next level, which is team builder. So team builder, sorry, there's an ambulance going by. You're making, again, Success Club 5. All right? So Success Club 5 is minimum requirement. Your rank is emerald or ruby. All right, so now we've added in the requirement that you're an emerald or a ruby. For your monthly bonus points, it's 250 now. So a little bit more, but again, if you're making Success Club 5, you should have 250 bonus points, right? But here's where the requirements, this is the new requirement that gets added into this little team builder thing, which I think is actually kind of cool, which is the number of coaches that you have who have at least one Success Club point. So these are not the people who are necessarily making Success Club 5. They just have 1 point. So there's some activity. They've gotten one person started on Shakeology Home Direct, or maybe they've got 2 points because they've sold a challenge pack. Maybe they've got 50 points, okay? But if they have at least 1 point. In order to be a team builder, you need to have 2 of those people, okay? You have 2 people who are making at least 1 Success Club point. And we introduced weak leg volume here as well. Why do we want to talk about weak leg volume? Because weak leg volume is how you get paid. All right, so just to give you like a really quick breakdown of this, we all have 2 legs. And I'll draw this up here. So I'm talking about weak leg volume, but I'm going to draw this up here. So this is you, right? And we all have 2 legs. Now, for most of us, one of those legs is being built with other people. I mean, for almost everybody, unless you just don't build, you're not really building either of these alone. But what ends up happening is one of them becomes stronger than the other. And in this case, I'll just make it that one. there's a coach here, a coach here, a coach here, a coach here, a coach here. This leg, there's only 2 people over here. And what you end up having is a weak leg and a strong leg. So just for very simple understanding of our compensation plan, this leg, your weak leg, governs how much money you make. Why? Because every time there are multiples of 200 points and 100 points, you make a cycle bonus. If you're an emerald, that's $14. If you're a ruby, it's $16. If you're a diamond, it's $18. But if there are no multiples that are coming from this leg, you don't get paid on cycle bonus. So that's why we care about your weak leg volume. Strong leg volume is great. There are people who, have been in this business for a couple of years. I've got a lot of coaches on my team who've been in this business out here. This leg is generating tens of thousands of bonus points a month. But their weak legs have never been built, or maybe they've just been built a little bit. So they don't capitalize on any of this stuff because they haven't built their weak leg. Okay, so in order to be a team builder, you need to have 200 team volume points, and there is a little bit of a distinction between a bonus point and a team volume point, but I don't want to get into that. For now, it means that there's 200 points coming from this weak leg. And again, this is just a graphical representation. This could be flipped for you. It's a little bit different for everybody. It just kind of depends on how your legs lay out. If you don't understand that, talk to your sponsor. You can even ask me questions tonight. I'll answer some questions about that if you guys want to get into that. I don't want to get too technical. So, if it gets too technical, I may just tell you, follow up with me later. But you guys can feel free to ask me questions about that tonight. But this is the great requirement. So here's why I love the leadership ladder. Because at every level, these requirements get a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little more challenging. And introducing weak leg volume into this whole equation is really what makes this thing, in my opinion, really, really special. I'm going to adjust this a little bit so you can see team leader, which is our 3rd rank. So in order to be a team leader, again, Success Club, we're just still at 5. And actually what I think is kind of interesting about the leadership ladder, it's Success Club 5 for all 5 of the ranks. So it's not like they're saying if you're going to be an executive leader or an organizational leader, which are the 2 top ranks, you have to be making Success Club 50 or something like that. They just want us making Success Club, which seems like a very reasonable requirement. For rank, you have to be a diamond. Okay, so now we're moving it up a little bit more to diamond coach. I'm getting really slanted. I can see with that. Your bonus points, so your monthly bonus points are 1,000. So now what we're saying here is if you have 250, if you're making Success Club, you probably already have 250. Okay, it's gonna be pretty hard to make Success Club without 250. I'm trying to do the math. I guess maybe if you sold all challenge packs or something, but these 2 things are gonna probably mean the same thing in most cases. Here, we're saying, yeah, Success Club 5 is okay, but you need to have 1,000 bonus points per month. These are all monthly requirements, by the way, per month, okay? So what that means is you're making Success Club 5 as a minimum, but you're doing more sales than just Success Club 5. 1,000 points of personal volume, which I can just tell you, for us, when I was calculating and recognizing volume on a weekly basis, and I'm just not really able to do it anymore because the reporting, it's a good problem to have. The bottom line is the report is so big that I can't work with it. I can't capture it and work with it. But when I was doing monthly reporting, what I was recognizing was 500 points a week as being significant activity, 500 points a week. And then I'd be recognizing the top 10 people. Top 10 people, top 5 people were doing anywhere from 2,500 to 1,000 points a week. And then, the rest of the top 10, usually around 1,000 to 700, something like that. Those are just kind of rough numbers. What they're saying here is in order to be a team leader, you need to have 1,000 points a month. Okay, so not a week, but a month. So this may seem like a big number to you, but it's really not. For people who have been active and consistent in this business, they're doing more than 500 points a week. We're saying here 500 points a month. So that actually is not a crazy number. That's actually a very manageable, doable number, very, very achievable. Here's where it gets a little bit harder though, of course. we have personally sponsored coaches with at least 1 Success Club point. You need to have 4 of those. Okay, so that's 4 people that you have taught how to make some sales that get them Success Club points. Those could be challenge packs. They could be Shakeology home directs. They could also be performance line home directs. It's really anything that is over 90 PV that is on home direct. It just has to have that home direct requirement. So you've taught 4 people how to do that, again, every month. They could be only making 1 sale. Now, hopefully, if your organization is going to be productive, you've built it to the point where you've got more than 4 and they're doing more than 1 Success Club point every single month. Okay, but that's your basic requirement for team leader. Weak leg volume. Now we get into a big jump, and probably the thing that is going to prevent most of you guys from jumping from team builder to team leader. 5,000 points, right? So we went from 200 to now 5,000. That's a pretty significant jump in weak leg volume. So this is a big deal, team leader, to me, okay? I look at these and I go, okay, that's like a coach making Success Club. This is basically an Emerald coach making Success Club who's taught a couple of people how to make some sales, and so they've got that 200 volume points. This is a significant accomplishment in our business. If you have 5,000 volume points in your weak leg, you're going to be making some money, okay? Monica is going to do another call where she's going to break down these weak leg volumes and talk to you about, like, okay, let's say you did 5,000 volume points. What does that look like? I'm not going to do that because, again, I don't want to take up your whole night. But I think that is going to be a real eye-opening call for you guys to see, like, okay, what does it look like if you've got 5,000 volume points a month going through your weak leg? I can tell you just off the top of my head, if you have 200 volume points going through your weak leg, as an Emerald coach, you're making $28. That's not very significant, which is why this rank is certainly one of the steps on the ladder. But this one is the one that if you can build team leaders, for those of you guys who are leaders in our organization, I see we have a bunch of you guys on. If you guys can build team leaders in your organization, then you're really going to be building a solid organization, because each one of them is going to have at least 5,000. Now, this is what I would consider right here to be a really solid diamond coach, okay? A solid diamond coach, not just a diamond coach. And that's what I think that the leadership ladder wins over the rank system that we have now. Again, none of that is changing, and the comp plan isn't changing. None of that stuff is changing, so don't freak out about any of that. But this is where you can really build leaders and earn money, because we're doing a couple of things. First of all, you're active. You're making Success Club. Second, you have achieved and held the rank of Diamond Coach, which means you get a higher cycle bonus, basically. Third, you're more active. Again, you are more active. You are making more sales. And again, this is not a super significant amount of sales. You're teaching people how to make Success Club. They're on the way to making Success Club. Again, you need 4 people with 1 point. Now, if you really want to build an organization, I'm going to tell you need, and certainly if you want to qualify for something like a Leader Premier, you need more than 4 people. You need 4 people to make Success Club, like Success Club 5, not just 1 point. But this proves that you're teaching people how to do it, okay? If you have 4 people every month who have at least 1 Success Club point, that shows that you're teaching people that this is important. This is the activity you should be focused on. You have 5,000 points in your weak leg, you're going to be making some money. Okay, so this is what I would consider to be a really solid diamond. Just really quickly, if you're looking at that sheet, we talk really quickly about organizational leader and executive leader. I'm not going to lay them out here on the board because I want to spend most of our time here, because this is where most of you guys are. If you're currently an organizational leader, or you're bumping up against that organizational leader rung, I've probably already talked to you, and if I haven't, you should reach out to me. But an organizational leader is, again, somebody who makes Success Club 5, right? They're either a 2 to 4 star diamond. Okay, so now we're getting into like some big boy, ranks. You're opening a second business center. There's a lot going on. Again, it's just a discussion I don't want to like necessarily get into. You've taught now 6 people how to make at least 1 Success Club point a month. And your week leg volume has gone from 5,000 to 15,000. Okay, now when you start to have 15,000 points a month in your week leg, you're going to be making, again, more money. You're also a Star Diamond coach, so now you're eligible for more bonuses and all kinds of stuff. The executive leader, and you have a higher bonus points as well. It's 2,500, I think my cheat sheet says here. Executive leader is, again, making Success Club 5. Rank is 5 to 15 Star Diamond, has taught 8 people how to get at least 1 Success Club point a month, and has bonus points of 8,500 and a week leg volume of now 50,000, okay? So I don't think you have to be a major math wizard to recognize that if you're here, you're making a lot more money than when you were here. But again, I want to focus on these 3 because that's where most of you guys are at. Most people are in one of these 3 ranks. I've done the numbers. I've pulled the reports based on the sponsorship drill down. That's how you look at this stuff, by the way, for those of you guys who are leaders and are going to follow the bouncing ball here and help and run with this thing and use it for recognition. It's in the sponsorship drill down. I can get into, for those of you who want to pull that report, if you're confused by it, contact me. I can show you how to do it. It's very, very simple. You just have to edit the report and it'll show you all levels of your business, which is a nice little addition that Beachbody gave us in order to allow us to really implement something like this. Because when I could only see 5 levels deep in my business, I couldn't do this. But now that I can see all levels deep in a business, I can do a lot of things. So let's talk about what we're going to do as far as recognition goes, and rewards and recognition. So what we're going to start doing every month, what we've done in the past is a Success Club recognition piece. That's not going to change. The first week of every month, we'll have our Success Club recognition. It'll look just like it has in the past. We'll have, the cover photo will be the top 10 Success Club point earners, or top 5, I guess we do. Top 5 Success Club point earners and how many points they had. Then everybody else who had more than 10. Let me pause. I see I've got some questions here. So before I get into rewards and recognition, if you have questions about this stuff, pop them in the chat and I'll answer them. Then I'll get into the recognition piece. Thanks, Todd. Let me see Todd's. So what Todd is saying is the coaches that are team leader and hold it average $2,395 a month. Businesses grow on average 65% over 10 months compared to coaches who don't hold it consistently and only grow 10%. I'm so glad you brought that up because I think I've got a huge incentive for people who are able to do that. What a great, fantastic segue. Thanks, Todd. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to pause. Questions? Questions about this? Questions about that? Questions about any of the stuff? If you're confused, type it in the chat. I won't use your name. I'll keep you anonymous. I don't know if everybody can see the chat or not. Anybody else got questions? Pausing. This is me pausing here. I'm vamping. Help me out here. No? Okay. I'm going to keep moving on now. I'll move this chat box over so it's out of my way and I can just kind of see if anybody types in the chat. Okay. So back to the recognition piece and what we're going to do. So we're going to continue with Success Club recognition. Again, I think it's very, very important that we do that. Success Club is a foundation for each one of these. So if you're not making Success Club, that's probably why you're not a business starter. Pretty simple. So we'll have the Success Club recognition. It'll look very much like it does now. Top 5 and Success Club 10 on the cover photo. Then a separate post that has Success Club 5 point earners, which is the way we've been doing it the last couple of months because there's just not enough room on the cover photo, which again is one of those really good problems to have. That'll be the first week. The second week, we're going to get into the business starters. And we'll have a graphic, probably a cover sheet. We're kind of working on that now, or cover photo rather, that will acknowledge all the business starters. What you should be doing is paying attention to that for 2 things. 1 is your name on the list. 2 is one of your coaches' names on the list. Either of these lists. If they are, we're going to create some generic graphics for you to use. What I'm going to suggest you do is that you go, and if you see that one of your coaches made Success Club, which means they're also a business starter, basically, unless for some weird reason they don't hit that number, a return is the only thing I can really think of that would cause that, which would, anyway, if you see that they're a success starter and have made Success Club, take that graphic If you want to put your logo on it, fantastic. Put your logo on it. Great. Put it on their Facebook page. Put it on their Facebook page and acknowledge them as a business starter. The same thing applies throughout all of these. That type of recognition. It's third-party recognition. Nobody wants to brag about themselves, okay? But when somebody else is bragging on you, that works. Your contacts, their friends see that type of a post, and it gives them a lot of confidence that the person that they're dealing with is actually doing something with this business. So that's the first thing. Now, if somebody makes Business Starter 3 months in a row, that's 3 consecutive months. If it's a new coach, they're going to earn a free ticket to Summit. So that's a huge incentive for you to take and use. And when we start using this language of business starter and team leader, team builder, team leader, people start to understand. It's going to take a little bit of time, but if you guys will join me in doing this, it'll happen a lot faster. All of our teams will grow a lot quicker. 3 consecutive months from us will get you a personal development book. I don't know exactly what book yet, but we're going to pick one of our favorites that, or maybe something new actually, maybe something kind of new and cool. It depends on kind of what we're reading and fall in love with. But you'll get a personal development book. In addition, again, if that's a new coach, you're also going to they'll also get a free ticket to Summit through the Success Starters program. So when you're getting new people started, you need to have them understand this. This needs to be part of sort of your onboarding process with new coaches. They need to understand, hey, if you make Success Club, and then you teaching them how to make Success Club, which helps you here, and in all the other requirements, because they're going to be getting Success Club points, 3 consecutive months, they get a personal development book from us, and like a little note, we'll make it cool so that, it's worthwhile. We also might do some swag, a prize though, something from us for 3 consecutive months. And again, if they're new, they get their free ticket to Summit. Now, if you are a team builder, for them, if they hit 3 consecutive months, they're going to get a group call with Monica and I. That group call, we're going to do some training on how to get here. That's going to be the major focus of this call is, okay, you're a team builder for 3 months. Congratulations. That's great. Here's how you get here. Here's how you jump to the next level. It's also going to be an open Q&A call. Okay. So the call, we'll plan for an hour, probably go over, I should also say we're starting last month. So it's December, January, February. First of these calls will be in March. So then we'll just keep rolling the program through. So if somebody, let's say, and just because I know somebody's mind is working this way, let's say you had 2 months at Business Starter and then you advance to Team Builder, you get the book and it's your first month of Team Builder. Does that make sense to everybody? It's pretty straightforward. If the 3rd month at Team Builder qualifies as your 3rd month, or the 1st month at Team Builder qualifies as your 1st month at Business Starter. So, and the same thing as we jump up here. Now, Team Leader, for the people who are 3 consecutive months at Team Leader, you're going to start to get one-on-one contact with us. All right? Because these people are consistent, productive, diamond coaches. They are the current and future leaders of our organization. These are the people I want to be working with. Okay? I want to get up in your business and learn about you and your life and become a source of, hopefully inspiration, and if nothing else, motivation and maybe a pain in your ass. I want to get up into your life if you're in here for 3 consecutive months. The other thing we're going to do is we're bringing back the retreat. So we're going to do a diamond retreat again. We've done this in the past. Didn't do one last year for fairly obvious reasons. So on the retreat, if you are a team leader for 4 of 9 months between January and September, retreat will be in October. If you're a team leader for 4 of the 9 months, and this is 2016, you'll get to join us for our retreat. The retreat's going to be a lot smaller. than it has been in the past. Because in the past, what we've done is if you're a diamond coach or above, come on to the retreat. And last one we did, we brought in Autumn Calabrese, and it was fantastic. It was an amazing event. See, this thing's getting really distorted because I have it sideways. It was an amazing, awesome event. We also did a bunch of training. I taught people my email marketing system, for example. We'll continue to do that stuff. We're just going to be doing it with a smaller group of people because we're setting the bar higher. Why? Because to me, this is a productive diamond coach. That's what this means. This means somebody who's growing their business. They're teaching people how to make Success Club. They're doing more than the minimum required to make Success Club. And they've got some weak leg volume that's helping them to create a business where they're really going to grow that business and they're really going to make some money. Okay. So that's why I want to work with these people pretty closely. So again, we're running this sort of 3 consecutive months thing. And again, and this just builds into what Todd was saying. So just to go back to Todd's comment earlier, coaches that are team leader and hold it, average $2,395 a month. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for you. So if you do it 3 consecutive months or more, I want to talk to you because I want to help you do it for 4 months and come to the Diamond Retreat. Okay. I want to help you. These don't have to be consecutive, by the way, for the retreat, just 4 out of the 9 months. So if something happens crazy and you bounce back to Team Builder, don't sweat it. You're still going to be eligible as long as you can get back the following month. These are the major levels that I just want to talk about tonight. Again, if you're here and I start talking to you one-on-one, we're going to start talking about how to get to the next level, which is organization leader. All right. And I'm going to start digging into your business and looking at it really closely and helping you identify where you're lacking. Once you understand these things, you can take a good, if I know each of these things about your business, in particular, like where you're at Success Club, what's your rank? How many points do you generate? How many people have you taught how to earn a Success Club point? And what's your weak leg volume? I can give you a pretty good idea of how much money you're making and also how to move your business forward to the next level, because one of these things is lacking. If you're bouncing back to Team Builder, you're just lacking in one of these things. It might just be rank, but we need to look at that, right? It's probably not going to be rank really if you've got weak leg volume, but that's, again, that's one of those things. I can't sit here and draw a lot of generalities. What I can do is tell you that if you can get here and hold it, that I'll work with you and start to take a hard look at your business and figure out how do we get you to organization leader. Once you're an organization leader, the people who are organization leaders, I can just tell you from not just our team, but before I put this together, I talked with a lot of the other leaders across the business. And the people who are organization leaders, they're leading a team already. They're not people who need the same level of attention. That team leader to organization leaders are pretty big jump. Okay, so once you get to organization leader, most of those people are really leading a team. If that's you, whether you're currently an organization leader or if you're a team leader and you're really bumping up against that organization leader jump, because it is a big jump. You're going from 5,000 to 15,000 volume points a month. It's a pretty big jump. If you're bumping up against that, I'm going to suggest you do the same thing that I just did. Find, and maybe the Diamond Retreat is a little much for you. I don't know. But you can certainly take the graphics. You can certainly pay attention. You can notice that if you have business starters, you can recognize them. You can help them move to Team Builder. If you're a team leader, you can help these people, move up to Team Builder. Go from here to here. That's really what your job is going to be. If you want to get here to be this team leader thing, you can adopt this and make sure these people are making these steps. Make sure they understand them. You can show them this video, or you can, what I suggest is really you do your own. Because I will tell you one thing, just as somebody who's done this business for a really long time, I have learned more doing my team call than in any other training that I've ever sat in. Because in order to explain this to you, I have to understand it. And I've mapped this out a couple of times to understand it. I didn't, when they came out with this initially last year, I was like, what is all that stuff? Then I started to break it down and realized, it's not that hard. Because I had to teach it to you, I had to learn it on a level that would allow me to teach it to you. Okay, so I have a question from Amelia. Yeah, I'm not going back. I'm not going back the last several months. So we're really starting this. I'm starting in December. So, you'll see actually that we're working on the graphics right now. The business starter graphics will be out tomorrow, maybe Thursday. I don't know. Just kind of depends on when they're ready, when we have them where we like them. But we're really starting this in December. So, starting in December, moving through January and February. So, if you are a team builder, for example, in December, you need to hold that January and February to get on the March group call. But yeah, I actually don't have a way to go back, I don't think. Maybe I do, but I'm not aware that I do. But I wanted to kind of give you some advance notice of this. You're just going to start to see that this is going to be the foundation of a lot of our recognition. This and Success Club. Success Club will continue to be that. Again, a business starter is a coach that's making Success Club for all intents and purposes. But it gives you another way as a sponsor and as a team leader, it gives you another way to acknowledge people for making Success Club. And I think what's nice about it too is that, again, it's this sort of third-party social proof type of recognition that we can do for our people, where if I post a graphic on their page that says, congratulations for being a business starter, that people don't understand what this means, that the people who aren't coaches, they're contacts, but they know it's good. Why else would I be congratulating them for it? They know it's good, so they know they're dealing with somebody who's actually doing something with this business. And I will just tell you that builds a lot of confidence into those prospects. They start to see some recognition for Success Club and for Business Starter. They don't have to know what it's about. They just know it's good. And they know, okay, this person that I'm getting involved with, there's a big difference between the person who says, hey, I started a new business, and the person who says, hey, I started a new business, and here's my sponsor telling everybody that I'm doing a good job in that business. It's just a big difference. And that third-party proof can really, I think, help you build your team and help you grow your team. Again, I think if you're gonna teach people this, I would stay focused on these first three, because that's where the vast majority of people are. And as you can probably imagine, there are a lot more business starters than team builders, which is why we have to, do it, a present, a group call, and then one-on-one calls. So does that make sense to everybody? And what questions do you have? Anybody? Okay. I'll wrap it.
Can I just say it instead of typing it?
Or send me a message too if you don't want to type in the chat.
Hey, Dave.
So again, it's a newer system for us, making some changes to what we're doing, adapting with the times. The reason these things are important is because this is what builds your business. Okay, as you move on and you get bigger, these are bridges, right? That's the way to think of it. One of the things I talk about a lot when I do team calls for people, they want me to talk about leadership. And one of the things that I talk about is, what happens with the national call, I think, is that, we have somebody on the national call, it's a superstar diamond coach, and it's like they're way the hell up here. They're just way up here, and these new coaches are way down here, and this seems like such a huge gap to bridge, to get all the way up here. What this gives you is a series of small little jumps. Okay, so the example that I use is Evel Knievel, and maybe I need a new example because people don't seem to know who Evel Knievel was. But Evel Knievel tried to jump the Snake River at one point, and it's crazy. It's like 2-mile jump that the guy did. Well, what you have to recognize about him is he jumped something small when he was a little kid, and then he started jumping bigger stuff, and then he started jumping bigger stuff, and he kept jumping bigger and bigger and bigger things until he could get up to the point where he even could try to do something like that. That's exactly what the leadership ladder does for people. It gets them to start to learn about these different elements of their business and focus on something like a weak leg team volume, which if you're just an Emerald coach, you're probably not focused on. Yet this is the thing that gets you paid. So let's learn about that, and let's teach people about that, all right? And let's teach people how to grow their businesses in a way that allows them to make these small strides, right? Then once you get to here, Premier, and elite don't seem that far away, because if you're an organization leader, you're probably in the hunt for premier at least. Or, well, yeah, premier. And then if you're in the hunt for elite, you should be getting close to that executive leader level. So it just gives us some different things, and then we can teach on. It also lets me and you as a sponsoring coach, understand what's going on with people's businesses. Okay, if they're not, because the breakdown in the back office, and for those of you who this is just totally new to, if you go to the home page in the Coach Online office, right in the middle of it, it talks about Success Club. It tells you how many Success Club points you have, and there's little tabs above that. One of those tabs is the leadership ladder. There's a breakdown of where you're at, what the next rung is, and what you're missing. And it is a nice little breakdown. When I start working with people one-on-one, I want a screenshot of that. So I have a screenshot. Now I have a real good picture of your business, and I can tell you, oh, this is what's missing for you to get to the next level. Here's what you need to work on. Here's what you need to be teaching on. Because everybody's business is a little bit different. We all have unique strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully we're spending most of our time capitalizing on our strengths. What this is going to do is it's going to expose some weaknesses. Those are the things you're going to have to go to work on. Okay, I got another question. Is there a way to go back and see where you were at for all the months in 2015? I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I haven't played around with the reporting as far as going back. We've been kind of fiddling around with this for a couple of months. I've been looking at it for a couple of months as far as pulling the report and thinking about, what the recognition needs to look like, and decided to wait until January to really implement this. So I don't know. If you find one, let me know. I'd love to go back too and take a look. I don't know. The reports, I think, are just month by month. Yeah. Another question. Yeah, Tammy's got a good point here. If you've been running sponsorship drill downs, you can look at old reports. So, if you've been looking at Success Club, for example, and you haven't been editing the report and it's just giving you all the data, you probably have those old Excel files saved on your computer. The only thing about that is it's not going to show you where you were. It's going to show you where your coaches were, right? Because it's looking down below you. So that's kind of the only thing about that report. Although your sponsor might have that info. That's your upline might have those old reports. I know I don't. But your upline sponsor might have those reports. Anybody else? Questions? Open grab? No? Okay. So again, let's go back to where we started. Punta Cana. That is the Success Club 2017 trip. Get registered. If you don't get registered, you probably won't be going. It's going to sell out. I think there's 3,500. Is that what I heard? 3,500? Let me see if I can understand the question. Looked at my future goals today and they're incomplete. Is there a delay on setting goals from Beachbody? I'm not sure I understand the question. Want to flesh that out for me a little bit? What do you mean? Like your goals as far as what the back office says for your next leadership level? Is that what you mean? I don't know. I'm not sure why I haven't noticed that mine are incomplete. I don't know. Anybody else see that? It's a good question. Maybe else seeing that as like that, those projections being incomplete. I mean, the only thing I could think of is when you move to organization level. For example, let's say here's what it might be, but then it wouldn't give you the next rung. I mean, because if you're a team leader, the next level, there is another requirement. In order to be an organization leader, you need to have 2 team builders that you've personally sponsored. So I could see maybe that just being blank, but I can't imagine what requirement would be empty. That's weird. But you should be able to look at where you're at and gauge, based on just, this little screenshot that I gave you and kind of my breakdown of what's next. If you're emerald, obviously you need to get to diamond. That's pretty easy one right there. And doing so is another thing I really like about the way the leadership ladder breaks down is if you're an emerald or a ruby, I got to get to diamond before I can even think about being a team leader. Doing that will get you busier, which will increase your bonus points, and also force you to build your weak leg a little bit, which will build weak leg volume. This one's kind of up to you. Teaching people how to make Success Club. Hopefully the recognition will help with that. When we start recognizing people for being business starters and Success Club, it's really two recognition pieces for the same activity, which I think will help more people getting focused on making Success Club, which will help here, and any other requirements as well, because they just kind of go up as they go up. All right, it's Taco Tuesday, and I am cooking dinner for my kids, so I'm going to go cook dinner for my kids. That is the leadership ladder. Just as a recap, get registered, business starter for 3 months. If it's their first 3 months, they're going to get the free ticket to Summit. If it's not their first 3 months and you just make it for 3 months, great. You're going to get a book from us or some swag or a nice little present and probably a note. Team builders, 3 consecutive months. We're going to have a group call for you guys that you'll be able to, as long as you can remain at Team Builder, you'll be able to attend the call for consecutive months. Okay, so don't sweat that. It's not like a one-time thing. I'm happy to open it up to you and continue to talk to you about how to get to team leader. And again, if you're 3 consecutive months of team leader, you're going to get a one-on-one call with us. And that call, again, is going to be focused on organizational leader, but it's really going to be a deep dive into your business. And for those of you guys who have worked with me one-on-one and we've done stuff like this, that we can go through and we kind of identify where the gaps are. And then you just have something to go to work on. This is a pretty big jump. And if you're able to hold team leader for 4 of the 9 months from January, so starting now, January until September, 4 out of 9 months, you will be invited to a diamond retreat, which we have yet to completely plan. We're going to kind of look at how many people are qualified for that. Basically, if the fewer people we have, the more awesome it will be, because we'll just have a budget for it. So, we've styled out before, and it's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be an awesome event, and looking forward to inviting however many people are able to qualify that here to Coronado, or maybe, I don't know, somewhere else. We'll see, but we'll plan that out in the coming months and tease you with that as we go. So that's the team call. We're back on every Tuesday night at 5:30. Monica is probably going to do it next week. I've asked her to talk about this weak leg volume. What does that mean for you? What are these, monetarily, what does it mean for you to make these jumps? Okay. So there we go. That's the team call for tonight. I'm off to cook some tacos. Thank you for your time, everybody. Good to see all of my Canadian friends again. And I will talk to you guys next week.